Paul, and this is Underwood Homes.
So we're going through and trying to straighten these walls out. You can see we've pulled a string line from one end to the other. So that string line is straight, and that shows you how far out the walls are. You can see there's a good 4 or 5 inches in some places where it's bellied. So what we need to do is take off a couple courses. I mean, the main bellying is around the windows, so we're trying to take off a few courses down to the scaffold where the worst of the belly is, and then we're going to build it back to the line as best as we can. Take all the bends out of the walls, try and straighten the whole thing out, and then we can get our wall plates on top, nice and straight, ready for the new roof. Doing the same on the back walls here. We're trying to straighten them out. The back wall's not as bad as the front, so it only needs a bit of tweaking here and there. While we're doing it, we're cutting out any doorways that we're going to need to knock through later on. We're not going to knock them through right at this point, just because we're pushed for time to try and get the roof on. So all we're doing is cutting in where the doorways are going to go. We're building our lintels over the top, and then we can get our wall plate built on there, get the roof built, everything done, and then knock those doorways through at a later point when it suits us better. The actual wall plate is going to sit closer to the front, the outside edge of the wall. So we've gone for a bigger lintel on the inside because that won't have much above it. It's just a big solid lintel. The 2 skinnier ones on the inside, they're going to carry some brickwork. We're going to try and get 2 or 3 courses of brickwork over the top of those and tie in the top of the stone head with them, as with the brickwork as well. Make that as strong as we can, and that'll be a nice strong base for the wall plate to sit on. This is going to be way stronger than what was there before. 1 flagstone head on the upright going over the window, and a 3-inch flagstone on its flat going across the back. So no wonder those windows gave way over time. So what we're doing is a nice solid job. It's going to last forever. It's taken any movement out of those walls now and just made a really solid job for the future. So we're trying to use the original stones that we had left. We're trying to use the original heads over the top of the brand new steel lintels we've put in. This is going to make a real nice job. Still, it'll look original, and it's nice to finally be building this house, you know, putting something back into it, trying to make a start in putting it right. So it feels nice to actually have started building something on it. Right, so at this point we've got the walls nice and straight, all the lintels on, and all the stone heads built back exactly how we want them, all nice and straight. We've been through the laser level, and the wall's pretty good, to be honest. It's about 25mm higher one end than the other. So what we're doing, we're going through with a nice big bed one end and working our way down to the skinnier end, and we're leveling it, you know, lengthways, getting that spot on using the laser level and the spirit level, and then we're also getting it right side to side, you know, front to back, making sure it's hunky-dory, so that when we do the cuts of our roof, every single cut will sit the same because the wall plate's nice and level. So yeah, we're working on the back wall of the house now, and we've got our string line set up. And you can actually see on the string line, this back wall's got a hell of a belly in it. You know, we don't have to do as much work at this point because that back wall is not going to be seen. The new roof is going to be cut down onto it, but then off of that new roof, we're going to have a flat roof going off to the back wall even further back. It's going to be covered up on the inside. So we don't have to go through the hassle of dropping all that stonework, rebuilding it straight. What we can do is just lay our wall plate perfectly to that string line, and again we'll laser that in, get that nice and level with the front wall plate, and then at least we know that all of our roof cuts will be the same, and that will cut in nice and square and parallel with the front, so it's a bit easier on this backside. We've got the tower set up, and we're finally going to start dropping this chimney because we want to get the depth out of that chimney breast to give us more room in the bedroom upstairs. The amount of space it's taken up, you know, we could fit on one side, we could fit a bathtub in, the other side we could fit a better bed in there at least. But it's at this point here where we start taking this down, becomes apparent that this is actually going to be a much bigger job I want to do, or I want to take on really. We can see straight away by the time we've moved that first stone, we're already in the flue of the fireplace, which means we would have to take down all of that stonework, and we'd still have to build up quite a big chimney breast to take a new flue line in to still be able to use the chimney. It's at this point where we pull the plug on that plan and decide not, after all that, we decide not to take down that chimney breast and save ourselves a hell of a lot of work and hassle and money. This is the next day, so the wall plates, the muck underneath has gone off nice and hard, and you can see when we take those wall plates off how straight and level the muck work is. So all we're doing now is going through those wall plates, cutting a join onto them so that we can join them all together, fix them so they're one solid piece of timber, and then we're just screwing them and screwing them down to fix them to the wall, also putting the gable straps on them so that they're fixed down the side of the stonework as well. This is all good prep to do before we come to put the roof on. So we know those wall plates are nice and solid, they're not going to move anywhere, and we can just turn up and start cutting our roof straight onto them. So here we are, first morning of cutting on the new roof. All the lads are busy fixing the wall plates down nice and tight. Me and Joey are chit-chatting, getting our heads around how we're going to do this and what the plan is. But essentially we've paralleled up, made sure the wall plates are exactly parallel. We've measured, found a centre point, and then we're carrying that centre point up to the chimney, and we're just setting the exact right height that we want our ridge beam to be at, dead centre of the wall plates, up the chimney at the right height. That way we know we got it the same cut, both sides, and make our life a lot easier when we're cutting the roof on. So we're just spending some time sorting that out one end, and then we go and figure it out the other end. We can pull the lines through and start cutting. So we've got our ridge exactly where we want it. We figured out our cut, our top cut and our bottom cut. We've cut both of them, 2 of those, so essentially there are 2 templates, but we've just put them in place for now, up, and they're holding the ridge up, and we just got a prop holding the other end of the ridge for now. What we're doing now is the same thing down the other end on the far chimney. We're using the same 2 cuts, and we're going to set the ridge at the same height, and then we know for sure both ends are exactly the same, so then we can pull our string lines through, just match every single cut and timber to those string lines, and we know our roof is going to be perfectly square and straight. Okay, so we know we've got our ridge beam good now. We're back on the middle chimney, so we've cut a roof truss either side of each chimney, so we know that the roof is spot on. Once we get these fiddly ones done, these are like the ones that are holding the ridge either end and in the middle. Once we've got them done, we know they're all right. We've cut a template then, and then we can just go through and cut all the trusses and get them all in, bang, bang, bang. It's just a bit slow getting set up, making sure the ridge is right, and then it'll go a lot quicker once the fiddly bit's done. So we've got our ridge beam spot on level right the way through now. We've got all the cuts we need, all the details. So now what we do is cut all of our trusses, get all the top cut and bottom cut done on all of them, get them all ready. We've marked out our 400 centres throughout the roof, and now we just go through and bang them all on, easy peasy. So all that fiddly bit getting set up is a bit slower, a bit important, and now it starts to speed up because we've done all the hard work. We just get the easy bit done. So you can see we've got Jack and Harry. I think Jack's doing the left-hand side of the roof and Harry's doing the right-hand side of the roof. They're down there, they're marking the top and bottom cuts of the trusses, getting them all cut. They've worked out how many we need, and they're leaning them against the scaffold on the right side. So all we got to do once we're up there is pull them up and bang them in. So we've just left these trusses till last, going over the lintels over the doorways here. This is just because there isn't a lot of height for the head of the door under there, so these lintels have had to go at the height where the minimum height we can fit a full-size door in, which has brought them up a bit higher kind of into the space of the truss. So all we're doing is kind of cutting a double bird's mouth on these trusses, so they sit on the wall plate and they also slot over the wall plate we've put on top of the lintels as well. So we just left these till last because they're a bit fiddly, so we get the bulk of it done and do these ones at the end. Great, that's all the trusses on throughout the house now. It's nice to see that done. So the next thing is getting the collars in. So these are the bits that the ceiling screws to basically. So this is putting the collar ties across the house. That's your ceiling, that's your loft, all of that. So basically we marked that out level right around the inside so they're all the same height. Then we've marked our cuts. The lads have cut them down on the ground, passed them up, and now we're sliding them through. So every single truss is bolted together front to back, and that gives it the strength that it needs so that the roof can't move anywhere. It just holds it all in nice and tight and makes a nice strong job of it. Now we've got all the new roof on, got all the trusses cut, all the collars in. We're just going through, spending some time now, getting all the bolts in that hold all the collars on, bolting them up, getting them up nice and tight. Just going through with the nail gun, doing some last final fixings to the tops and the bottoms, cutting off any timbers that are just slightly too long, and just going through and just making sure everything's hunky-dory and finished. Because the next job's going to be fat and batten. So yeah, if you've got any questions, anything you want to know about what we're up to so far, just let me know.